everyone. Thanks for joining me for today's Walk the Talk session about knowing your people. Seems like an easy concept, doesn't it? But really, is it? If I asked you today to name 5 members of your team, their hobbies, family member names, what motivates them, their goals, or maybe what they like or dislike in their jobs, could you actually tell me? Do you know what ideas they have to change the work environment to make it better? If so, great. Keep that up. But if not, you may be thinking right now, oh my gosh, here's HR. I don't have time for this touchy-feely stuff. I'm just trying to survive and get things done. Well, I know we all are doing that. But I will tell you to make time for it. And it doesn't have to be touchy-feely. You can do this in ways that work for you and your team. Knowing your people builds trust. It builds respect. It builds unity, compassion, and understanding. What may work in HR in my group may not work in police for the SWAT team or in public works for that concrete crew, but you know what works and that would reach them. Through very simple, short conversations, you can learn so much about what makes your people tick, their personalities, what motivates them, and how to effectively communicate with them to elevate each person to become their best. My mom has always said, hear me now and believe me later. Well, take my advice and trust it. Connect with your people, tweak where needed, and I'm not asking for hours of your time. I'm asking for minutes in a day or maybe even in a week. Find ways to start their day or end the day with brief activities to get to know one another. The rewards will be huge if you do this well. So kind of what does that look like? How are you thinking I would accomplish this? Well, it can be simply asking your team, how was your weekend? Or who's got some fun family stuff going on this weekend that we can talk about? In our group, we do a one word. We say, give me one word to express how you're feeling about X, the new project, or what made you feel that way, or why. And it gives them an opportunity to share, and you learn about them doing those kind of things that just take moments of time. You have to figure out what works. If you're not sure, call me. Call HR, call any one of our leaders or a leader that you trust that does it well. They'll have lots of ideas for you. This is all part of effective communication, and communication is a learned skill. It has to be practiced. We are all here for one another and will explore you and your team to find things that work. Let's watch this great scene in The Blind Side that demonstrates the impact and outcome of knowing your people.
Right. Roll three. Let's go.
Horse, you got 100 pounds on Collis and you can't keep him out of our backfield? Hold your block until the whistle blows. Hold it. All right, let's go.
What's with the camera?
Michael always does better when he sees what he's supposed to be doing.
Let's go.
Holding. Left tackle.
Michael, come on.
Or, come here, son. You're gonna hold him inside here between the tits. You got it? Will you look at me, son? If you grab him outside here like this or that horse collar thing you just did, you're gonna get flagged and I'm gonna be pissed. You hear me? All right, let's go.
Baby, wash my stuff, all right?
Okay.
Well, at least he'll look good coming off the bus. They'll be terrified till they realize he's a marshmallow. Looks like Tarzan plays like Jane.
Give me a minute, Bert.
We're in the middle of practice, Leanne.
You can thank me later. Come. Michael, do you remember when we first met and we went to that horrible part of town to buy you those dreadful clothes? And I was a little bit scared and you told me not to worry about it because you had my back. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
And if anyone tried to get to me, you would have stopped them, right? And when you and SJ were in that car wreck, what did you do to the airbag?
Stopped it?
You stopped it. You stopped it. This team is your family, Michael. You have to protect them from those guys, okay? Listen. Okay. Tony here's your quarterback, all right? You protect his blind side. When you look at him, you think of me, how you have my back, how you have his. okay? All right, Tony, go back. All right. Oompa Loompa here is your tailback. When you look at him, you think of SJ and how you'd never let anyone or anything hurt him. You understand me? All right, go back. Got it?
What about Collins and Mr. Tui?
Fine, they can be on the team too. Are you gonna protect the family, Michael?
Yes, ma'am.
Good boy. And go have some fun. Yelling at him doesn't work, Bert. Doesn't trust men. In his experience, they pretend to care about you till they disappear.
Want to run a play?
SJ, you're gonna want to get this.
Okay. Come on, Michael.
Watch yourself. Yeah. Go!
All right, Michael, come on. Woo! Yes! Michael!
All right, way to go, O. Way to go.
That boy.
Okay. What'd you say to him?
You should get to know your players, Bert. He tested 98% in protective instincts. I said you could thank me later. It's later, Bert.
All right, in this scene, you saw how Leanne had obviously studied her son's personality report to gain insight on what was important to him. She used that knowledge of him being highly protective to better explain his role on the team in a way that he understood and could relate in order to perform better. On the flip side, it also clearly demonstrated the negative impact to the player and team when you don't know what makes them tick. So the outcome was frustrating to everyone. Additionally, the coach, you, was not getting the best out of his player. Now that you know what to do and have seen impact, let's study examples of how to do it. Here are a couple of ideas from frontline to executive leaders in different industries on what they have done to connect with their teams and the benefit of it.
I have two approaches to this. One is for the people that are my direct reports, the coordinators under me. It's simply checking in with them each day, asking them how they're doing, but you have to be willing to listen when they talk to you. Really ask the question and really listen to the response. For the folks underneath them that are still in my department, if they're doing a good job, take time to thank them for doing a good job. You would be amazed how far that goes in building camaraderie and communication.
I make time to be curious. I ask questions about their day or their weekend plans. I ask questions about the work that they do, see if I sense any pride or frustrations that they may be experiencing. And if I do sense frustration, I may ask some more questions about why does this stress you out and what can I do to help?
I try to take some time shortly after they've started to come to work just to get to know who they are, find out what they're interested in and what their hobbies are. I believe that if you go ahead and open the gate with that information, it just lets your people know that you are interested in them, not just as an employee, not just trying to have productivity, but you're interested in them as a person and you're concerned about their well-being as well as their professional development. So I believe that if you go ahead and start from the beginning, start from the get-go, just finding out small detailed information about your people, it makes them feel a lot better about coming to work every day.
Well, one of the leadership principles I use is know your employees and look out for their welfare. And in getting to know them, I first tell them about myself as an icebreaker, and then once I get to know things about them, that helps me customize my leadership style for them So as an example, if all of a sudden they're starting to have an issue at work and I know that they have a problem on the home front at home, then that may explain things. So at the end of each staff meeting, I usually ask, how's everything on the home front?
Well, I think the unexpected benefit of this for a lot of people is your customer service. If you treat your employees with respect and as an individual, then they will do the same thing to your customers, which is what Raving Fans is all about. Plus, for you personally, it makes work a lot less stressful. Motivate out of encouragement and communication, not fear. You're going to be a lot more relaxed, and your employees will be a lot more receptive and happy and communicative with you.
When I'm curious about my team, it leads me down the path of understanding what their needs might be, whether that's personal or professional. And as I go down this path with them, they will learn to trust me and learn to open up the communication flow a little bit more with me.
I think that the benefit it has is it lets your staff understand, number one, you're human. It lets them understand that, number two, you have issues just like they have issues. If your people can't feel the comfort level of being able to come to their supervisor, there may always be that wall that's built between the employee and the supervisor, or between employee to employee.
So the benefit we see from knowing about our employees on the home front is whenever there's an issue at home, sometimes it affects them at work. And instead of assuming the worst about the employee, we can reach out to them and help them with the problem at home, and then that helps us to keep their job performance up and benefits the city.
Hopefully these examples help identify that it's not hard or time-consuming, and ideas that might work for you to get you started. Let's now break into our small discussion groups and answer the following as you grow in this area. What is the greatest challenge for you in getting to know your people better or helping them understand one another more? Now that you have identified the improvement needed, what idea do you have to implement change to improve that? I trust the conversations you had were good and the challenges and ideas were discussed. Participating in this Walk the Talk series is good, but if you don't actively engage in change and put words into actions, you're losing out on a great opportunity to impact you, your team, and our organization. After you finish this session today, don't stop there. Think, act, influence. Set time with your leadership team to really talk about this as a group. Ensure there's alignment and commitment to improve this across your team's divisions and department as a whole. Then follow up in a few months to see what's working, what's not working, and continue to tweak it to make it work for you all. Also, don't allow your staff to use these things they have learned as an excuse. Accountability and candid conversations are still necessary. But with all of these things, remember, happy staff work harder for you, their teammates, and for our customers. When you care, they care, the customers feel it, and our community feels it. It's contagious and it influences our culture. Who doesn't want that? I hope you have enjoyed this session, and until next time, lead well, make an impact, and walk the talk.